putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Sensitive/offensive content disclaimer. Please note that this podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Welcome in, you guys. Let me turn down the music. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to R.I.F.T Nation Network. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Rumble, and Kick Now. So we're on Rumble and Kick Now. So if you guys subscribe to those channels, look us up, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe, please. Share us out. It helps us out. Happy True Crime Wednesday, everybody. I hope everybody in the States had a wonderful 4th of July. I wasn't here last Wednesday due to the holiday, and it feels like I've been gone for like 2 weeks. It's only been a week. But it was nice to have some time off. Welcome in, Lee, Monica, Miss Michelle, Miss Linda. I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening tonight, checking out the chat. Come on in, you guys. Hearts for Joni. Oh, how sweet, Lee. I like the hearts. I can't find any emojis in this chat thing. I don't think they have emojis in this in Restream chat. I'm going to have to look. We don't have emojis. I don't see them. How's everybody doing? Is everybody doing okay? We have survived Tropical Storm Beryl up here. It was weird. You know, this morning I thought, how can we have all this wind and the rain? And it was in Jamaica last week and just all that damage. But now it's here. It was weird. But I hope everybody made it through that, and the tornadoes and the bad weather. And it was just weird to see that. And I mean, it was very windy. It was really windy. It wasn't tropical storm windy here, but it was a wind. And the clouds were really low. And I thought, gosh, that just devastated the Caribbean. So my heart goes out to the Caribbean and everybody, Texas, everybody got slammed by that. So glad everybody's safe now. Yeah, Linda, tornadoes are in upstate Vermont and New York now. Yeah, that's so weird. Hi, Denise. Hi, Keith. Thank you. Hi, Monica. Welcome. Thanks, Renee. Shared out. I'm not sure about Kick, but I watch videos on Rumble, so I do have a Rumble. I don't have a channel over there, but I know we're on there now. So we're on Rumble. Go check us out on that platform. And just a shout out to our sponsors at the Rift Nation Network, the Ghost Tours of Stanton, which is in Stanton, Virginia, nice little town, and they have haunted tours. Also, Booze Paranormal Equipment. And we can't forget our wonderful music when our intro, and like when my intro is on, and our I don't know what it's called when we leave when we're done with the show. I don't know what that's called. Our intro, but when we like close out, we have music. And that is Dark Cabin Studios, Jacob. So we love his music. And big shout out to him as well for our sponsors. So that's the stuff I had to go through, I think. This is the case tonight is very weird, you guys. And the more I look at it, I don't know if you all have heard about, like, I've watched some of the shows. I know Keith probably knows about this, but like some of the parks or like up in the mountains where this case actually is down in the we call them the Smoky Mountains, Appalachian Mountains. People just kind of disappear, and they disappear in the national parks. No trace of anything. I know in some of the national parks, it's really weird. Like they'll find shoes and but they won't ever find any evidence of anything happening to the people. Like there's no, you can't see where there was an attack or a bear attack or anything. And this case kind of reminded me of something like it's in the mountains. He just disappeared. Nobody's ever heard from him since. But then I saw the chart. And I thought, well, maybe the chart will give us some clues. So we're going to take a look at that tonight. And then I brought you a little extra to look at too. And it's just mundane astrology, which I find fascinating, on what is going on in July and August. Wait till you guys see. We're going to have to watch this all together because I think it's going to be fun to watch what's upcoming. So I've got that coming up. But let's get into this case. Rue had given me this case to look at too. This was an old case that Rue had looked at because it's down around the mountains where she is. And it's a sad case because, it's a father of two young men. He's been missing since 2008. Nothing. They've not seen, not heard from him. Nothing. And there was nothing that suggested he may have unalived himself. Nothing. Is today your birthday, Linda? My birthday. Hope it's good astrology. Oh, no, your birthday is July the 14th. That's what we're going to talk about, right? July 15th. Yeah. Well, it can be unexpected. Go get a lottery ticket. Unexpected. Uranus. No, Sunday. Okay, Sunday. What date is that? Let's see. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The 14th. Okay, yeah. It's in play right now. It's Uranus Mars, which Uranus is the planet of chaos. It's unexpected. It can be rebellious. It can be what we don't expect. And then Mars, which we all know what Mars is. It's the male hot energy. It can be war. It can be fast moving. It can be your drive, your energy, your goals. it's not necessarily always war. That's what the fear people like to say. Oh my God, it's this. We're going to get to a war. No, we're not. Who knows, though? So let's take a look at this case, and then I'll show you some very interesting things that are upcoming. I think it's going to be fun to watch. We got to laugh. This we really have to laugh here now. Laughter is essential right now for all of us here. So let's take a look at this case. Jump in. I really want to know what you guys think about this case. This could just be one of those weird disappearance cases, where don't go out on the trails by yourself. It's kind of weird right now. I think it's just weird. Let's take a look at it. Now, this was back in 2008, though. And that's true. Here we go, Miss Linda. And early happy birthday, be blessed. Yes, ma'am, on the 14th. Happy 14th birthday. And evening, Hallie, how are you? Just telling Linda happy birthday on Sunday. So on Orion Effect, make sure and tell Linda happy birthday. It's going to be wonderful astrology, Miss Linda. Wonderful. Okay, let's get started on Mike, and then we'll get into the mundane astrology because we're going to laugh. I think we'll laugh a little. And laughter is good right now. We all need to laugh. So let's get into Mike's story. Now, this is the area. I don't know if y'all have been in this area down around the Great Smoky Mountains, down around Tennessee, around Knoxville, that area. It's absolutely beautiful if you love the mountains. And then if you go east a little bit over to the Carolinas, you can go to the Blue Ridge. Yeah, there's the Blue Ridge Parkway. And then you got the Blue Ridge. It's just lovely in this. It's beautiful. Like when you go into southern Kentucky, southeast Kentucky, and then down into Tennessee, up into eastern Tennessee, it's the mountains, Great Smoky Mountains. So there we go. We have pictures of, and I think Gatlinburg is a little bit to the right, to the left, to the west, Gatlinburg, maybe a little bit more central. So that's a picture of the Great Smoky Mountains, just a beautiful, lovely area. And here is a picture of Mike Hearon. And at the time in 2008, he was 52 years old. And around 11 a.m. on Saturday, August 23rd, he was leaving what is called his Bell Branch residence in Tallahassee, Tennessee, on his four-wheeler. He was en route to check on a property for a friend, and also he was going to his 100-acre property to do some bush hogging. Well, it says brush clearing. We call it bush hogging here. Now, he spoke with his son that morning, both of his sons, to tell them, hey, I'm going to be over on my other property because we have no cell service over there, but I just want you to know I'm going to be over there. He was seen dropping off equipment to do the work needed. However, he has not been heard from since that morning. The last person to see him was his neighbor when he was leaving on his ATV at 11 o'clock, and he waved to his neighbor. So he went, his friend, nobody heard from him. His friends went to his farm the next day and noticed his truck was parked at the end of the road with the windows rolled down. The trailer was still attached and the mower was still on the trailer. He normally parked his truck at the end of the road, detached the trailer, then drove closer to the house. Now, his parents, Mike's parents, lived nearby, and they went to his house on August 24th, the following day, didn't knock on the door or go inside. They noticed his truck was still parked at the end of the road. His son checked his condo and found his car and motorcycle in the garage and nothing out of place. His keys, his phone, money clip, credit cards, driver's license, and gun were inside his truck. Only one of his ATVs was missing. So on August 26th, his family, no, I'm sorry, then the family notified the police that he had disappeared, and that was on the 24th. On August 25th, 26th, the missing ATV, there's a picture of the land, there's the ATV, was found abandoned and undamaged about a mile from his home. It was parked on high gear on a steep hill in a location that he normally wouldn't go to. The ignition switch was left on, which was very uncharacteristic of him. There was no sign of him. He has not been seen or heard from since. That's it. This is a complete mystery. He's not been heard from. They have nothing. There was nothing in the area where the ATV was that would suggest, there are bears there, a lot of bears there. Would not suggest an attack of any kind. Nothing. This is just like one of those weird mysteries is this one of those weird mysteries? No tracks, nothing, Linda, nothing. How strange is that? I mean, I don't know, nothing. And again, we have to go back. This was 16 years ago, right? Yeah. So, nothing. So I thought, maybe the astrology, they searched, there are some pictures of the searching. They used canines, they used dogs, they used, I think they used drones, if drones were around at that time. There they are on horseback, like what Michael does. Nothing. Can we get this a little bit smaller? Okay, Howie, let me get this smaller, you guys, so I can read the chat. Almost sounds like an abduction case. Howie, and what's funny about this case as well is, and I'm sure you've had guests on the Orion effect where people just seem to disappear, whether they're out in the mountains or in state parks, and they like disappear out of thin air, nothing. Lee says steps in the woods. Many say steps in the woods will lead to a portal. I know it's as weird as it sounds. This is so much like one of those cases. It's just very, very weird. Nothing. It's very, very weird to understand this one. This one is a puzzle, you guys. This is a big mystery. Okay, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Let me get to the chat. Get some of what you guys, no tracks of nothing. No tracks of another vehicle or footprints. Almost like an abduction case. What are those things called, Howie? Cryptoids? What are they called? Like different, like dog people, or like they're not like monsters, or I don't know what I'm not sure what they're called, but I know there's been a lot of. Sarah says there would have to be something urgent that he saw or heard that would cause him to leave his ATV like that. And another thing that's very strange about that, Sarah, that's it. Cryptid. Thank you. Cryptid. That's not an area that he frequented. When they found the ATV, that is not an area that he would go to. Howie talking cryptic. I know. That would be a good show too. There have been hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 people that have really disappeared in our national parks that have gone without a trace. There's actually a gentleman that has done a lot of research on these disappearances, where it's like Lee said, where are they going? Are they going into some kind of like this, almost like the Bermuda Triangle? We don't know. Now, let me show you, and we can get back to that. I don't know what a cryptoid would look like on an astrology chart. I really don't know what a cryptoid or Did your mapping suggest anything? Yes, it did. Okay, the chart. Now, the chart to me, we're going to look at him, and he is Libra. I need to look up an abduction through cryptic or forest ways. Interesting. A lot of people disappear in our natural parks and in the mountains, and they just disappear, kind of like the dog man. Yeah, dog man. The Bermuda Triangle. It's just weird. Now, if we look solely at the chart, he is represented by Libra as the ascendant. Okay. He's right there. Now, if I were just to read the chart, he was in the neighborhood. We moved down. We're going to go counterclockwise. Pluto, which is chaos. He's within the neighborhood. Okay. In the sixth house, we go over and see Uranus, which would be either an unexpected, could be chaos attack. He could be close to electrical lines, electrical power lines. He's up in the eighth house in Taurus, which is woods, Algol. He's right up there with Algol, the demon star, which is what we're going to talk about in a little bit, which would be an attack at the throat or around the neck. Hypothetically, let's say if he was attacked, if there was an attack, we're going to look at in the 12th house, which is Virgo. Now, this is where I got some clues. Virgo would represent a farm. Well, look, we're in farmland, okay? So Virgo represents dairy or cheese, or a place that is processed, that processes cheese or milk, or a chicken farm. Well, because it's in the 12th house, it's a farm that is hidden. So it's off the road. Okay, it is off the road. Mercury would describe the vehicle, which would be the ATV. It's attached with Uranus, which would be unexpected. Exactly what Sarah said. Something would have come up unexpected to him at the ATV, which would be Mercury. Mars would have been right in front of him, would have been violence, because it's on the ascendant, which, when in a forensic astrology chart, when Mars is right there at where Libra is, over at the ascendant, it's right in front of the person. So it's unexpected chaos, Mars attack. And unfortunately, it's in the, I'm just going to say it's in the eighth house, which would be unalive. But we've got a female. So does a female know something? Was a female there? Did a female see something? So we've got people involved, because the sun, if there is a perp, now the perp could be like a dog man or a cryptid or whatever they're called, is right next to him, and he's hidden as well. Could also be an older man. So Saturn is remains that they are hidden around a farm, which is a cheese. If there's a cheese or a chicken or a dairy farm off the road where it's hidden away from where people cannot see it, that's where I believe he would be. That's what the chart is telling us. We have no other clues to go by because there are no other clues. There's no witnesses. No, the last time anybody saw him, he was leaving by. I'm on my ATV. I'm going to go cut grass. But it looks like he never even got the bush hogger even off his truck, off the trailer. So this is a mystery. So I'm going to check the chat and then we'll look at the maps. I'll show you guys the mapping of this because it's just really weird. Okay, here we go. Howie says, almost sounds like an abduction. I know. Steps in the wood. Okay, to the portal. That's where we left off is what Lee said. Okay, let's see. There would have to be something urgent that he saw or heard that would cause him to exactly. Or was he running from something? Oh, okay, Howie, there wasn't drones back then. Okay, in 2008. Okay. Correct. We have cryptids. That's like Dogman and Mothman. Mothman has been known to be over there in that area. Mothman is there. Dogman or Bigfoot. I don't know if Bigfoot takes people or not. Does he? Does Bigfoot take people? Skinwalker. There's a thing called a skinwalker. Here's Lee. This 2000. Are they taking them to alter them part human? Girl, I don't know. 2008. Portals to inner earth. Denise, that's exactly what Lee said too. That's what Lee said. And Tammy, true, a skinwalker or alien, they all exist, especially those super remote areas up in the mountains. And these are I'll show you the map. When I show you the map, I'm going to show you how remote this is. I can visualize possibly not what actually happened, but it seems like he heard something that caused him to follow the sound like a child. Then he would definitely go wherever he normally would or not. There are cryptids that make a sound. Oh, okay. So like to lure someone to them. So the cryptids make noises. Okay. I'm going to have to look up cryptids. What unknown phenomena is active in that area? A lot. There's a lot in that area. That area is where people they disappear. They do disappear in that area. They do just disappear. Wonder if he saw something illegal going on or someone being chased or hurt and stopped that possibility without thinking it through. This is very farm. It's a very farm, rural areas where he's from. I don't know if there's hardly any people, kind of like the farms around where we are. I don't know if that activity goes on in those areas. Linda, I'm not sure, but it's a possibility. Only heard of Bigfoot scaring people. Yeah. I don't know about Bigfoot. Does Bigfoot we don't know if Bigfoot might snag people. Maybe. Okay, so we mapped it. It's beautiful, Lee. The mountains in Tennessee are beautiful. Same in Kentucky. So I mapped it from his home at 11 because we do know that he left at 11 because he saw the neighbor. Look at how rural this is. So I looked around for, of course, farms because Virgo is farms, hidden farms. It's kind of what I'm looking for are hidden farms. Now, that's not accusing people that have farms because, again, maybe in 2008, some of these places may not have been in this area. But as you know, when we use forensic astrology and we have the what I call the wedges, those are the areas of interest to search. Now, I don't know if these are cheese farms or chicken farms or any type of processing farms. But there are a lot of hidden, and I circled some of them. Look at that. There are several hidden areas where they could be. And he's close because it's the third house, which is within the neighborhood. So he's not far. The maximum he is from where he was would be about a quarter of a mile to a half of a mile. He's close. He's very close. He's not far. Could be 2 miles. So there are a lot of farms in this area that are off of the road. As you can see, look, it's farmland. Look at that. Can you imagine that at night? It would be pitch black. Pitch black. You're up in the mountains. That's all farmland. And he had 100 acres. So as you can tell, I'll go back and I'll show you this little area. Just very, look at that terrain. I mean, so look at that. There we go, right there. Happy Valley Baptist Church, Happy Valley Road. And that's where he was, down at the red pin. But there's not a whole lot of much around. You know, he was on Bell Branch Road. That's where he was last seen. So that is the story of the disappearance of Mike. Very, very tragic. You know, it's such a mystery. It's just a big mystery. It was very interesting. It's an interesting case. The chart tells us a story. Again, I don't know how accurate that story is with the chart, but boy, it's kind of strange, isn't it? Very strange. Very strange. Active in that area. Caves, old mine shafts. I don't know how much in Kentucky. There are a lot of mine shafts in Kentucky, in the mountains in eastern Kentucky. I think up in the Great Smoky Mountains, I'm not sure. I'm sure there's areas of mining, but I think this is more of farming. I'm not quite sure. But I know in Kentucky, the old mines are all blocked off. You can't get into the mines. I mean, you could sneak in, but they're blocked off. I have a big, huge thing of coal here. I have to show you guys next week. It's a big block of coal, about that big, from a mine. Very strange. It is definitely interesting. I'm going to study the whole cryptid thing, and see cryptid information from the Smoky Mountains and see what's going on. But that is the story. A very interesting, sad case, 2008. I hope something is found. And Monica says he may have never heard boars, but what he went to check didn't seem like a threat. He would have gone armed. Correct. And his gun was found with his wallet and his phone and everything. And I would think even he would have been armed, even just going out on the ATV, something like you say, he would have gone armed. I would think so. If he's from that area, yeah, absolutely, because of boars or bears. I mean, there are a ton of black bears in that area. When you go down into the cabins in that area, you've got everything is locked up because of the bears come right up to the patios, and they're big black bears. Yeah, you can see them out on the road. They're pretty tame. They're everywhere. Yeah, Michelle, I have to look that up too. Keep me updated, Michelle, too. So that is the story, you guys. That's our case for this week. But I wanted to also show you guys, I think this is so interesting. You know, we always do our missing persons and our cases like that. I thought this was interesting because this was what everybody was talking about. What is going on in July and August here? Because right now in the United States, and I know our Canadian friends are with us as well, but you know, we had some weird stuff happen last week, and everybody was like, what is going on in this country, in our country right now, with everything that's going on? So I think what we've got coming, and I want you guys to watch this. We're gonna watch this together because one is just as big of a train wreck as the other. So I thought, what? Let's take a look at what happened to our president at the debate debacle, whatever happened. So, of course, I pulled up his chart because everybody's like, what happened? What was going on? Now, Keith and I did talk about this because I told Keith they don't have an astrologer for sure. I know Nancy Reagan was consulted an astrologer, but I think the Bidens, they can hire me. They can hire me. So this was our poor president's chart the night around the debate. And as you can see, and I put the pink arrows, is we've got Saturn. Now Saturn will restrict when it's a transit. Saturn is karma, but it also leaves restrictions. It can restrict. Saturn also represents older people. It's your bones. It's old age. It was directly in opposition, which is 100 degrees. This is a transit. Saturn was hitting what we call his midheaven, what the public sees. So dear old Saturn was wrecking havoc, big time, big time. I would have said, no, you would never do a debate with Saturn right there. No, we're going to pick another date. Then, in addition to Saturn, we've got Uranus is, if you see the yellow lines that I did, is hitting his ascendant. As you know, of those of you that know astrology, the ascendant is your physical body. So one minute you're fine, and then it's just shock to the body, which people quote unquote were shocked. We weren't, because we saw Keith and I on his show have talked about this a lot. When Saturn was transiting his third house is when I said he's got cognitive issues. That was 3 years ago, because that's what Saturn will do in the third house. Third house represents communications. So it didn't surprise me because it's in the astrology. So I want you guys to take a look at this chart because everybody's talking about her as well. And I avoid Miss Harris's chart because she's a fellow Libra. So I don't want to say any, you know how I am with Libras. I'm a Libra too. So it's like, keep the Libra out of the lab and away from any buttons. But let's look at her chart, you guys. She's got a transit going on, which is so interesting right now. She's got a very strong chart, by the way, an extremely strong natal chart. Very, very strong. Right now, we're going to talk about Algol. She's got Algol very prominent in her chart. It conjuncts Jupiter, conjuncts up there. So she's got a sudden change of fortune. She's got Uranus transiting, a shift, which is very positive. It's the best placement of Algol. is Uranus is hitting her natal Jupiter. So we're going to have some very strange, unexpected things occur. So Vice President Harris has a very, very strong chart. She was born, interestingly enough, on a full moon. So that's the blue line. She was born during a full moon. The full moon was in Aries, actually, because her sun is in Libra. And I kid about that, but I'll tell you what, she's got Saturn up at the top of her midheaven, which, you know, she would be a very strong, she would do good. She would do a good job, believe it or not. And I know people laugh at her and make, you know, with that cackling and stuff, but I'm telling you that Saturn, she's got a good, strong chart. So I don't know. Let's expect the unexpected. I don't know what's going to happen with them. I do not know. But I think she's got some really good things headed her way with her chart. Now there's Algol. It's in the constellation of Perseus. Okay. Algol is what is called the demon star. Algol gets kind of a bad rap because he is the worst star, fixed star out there. It's the demon star. It means decapitation. But that also can mean that people lose their heads. They lose their mind. They go crazy. They lose their mind. They lose their head, their wits. They lose their head about them. You just don't know with Algol. Well, what's coming up? You're going to laugh at this. During the Republican convention next week we've got Mars and Uranus together with Algol during that convention. So, okay, what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen then? So I don't watch them usually, but I might this time just to keep an eye on the Mars and Uranus with Algol in there, because who knows? Expect the unexpected. People can lose their heads. And how this plays, and I've got it. Okay. This directly squares, this little combination directly squares Trump's natal Mars. Don't ask me. I mean, it gets weirder and weirder the more I look at it. So I don't know. I don't know what could happen, but that's going to be during that convention. Now, during that time, this Mars and Uranus and Algol is directly opposing President Biden's son. Okay. What does that mean? That an opposition is fighting and they're not getting along, and it's a very tough transit for him. And it's hitting his son. What is the sun? The sun could be your physical body. It's you. It's your vitality. So he's taking a hit then. They're both taking a hit of some kind. I don't know. We're just going to have to watch it and see. It's going to be very close up to Trump's midheaven as well during this convention. So let's just keep an eye on it and see what happens to that. I think it's very, very interesting to see what the astrology is showing us, but we don't know what's going to happen. So let's take a look. It gets even better than that. In August, I looked at the Democrat convention with their convention because I thought, well, Harris's chart looks really strong. Is she going to be running? She's got a good, strong chart. He's taken a lot of whacks. I don't know. But now during the Democrat convention, we have what's called a T-square. We don't have one T-square. We have two T-squares going on during that convention. What? What's a T-square? A T-square is when two planets are opposing And then we have one planet in the middle that's squaring both of those planets. So this is kind of like the algal situation, but we've got two T-squares hitting at the Democrat convention. So I don't know who planned those dates, but they need astrologers to tell them you don't do stuff like that. Hire me. So we are going to have to watch this. I know we don't do mundane astrology on True Crime Night, but I thought this was so interesting. I thought you guys would like to see it, and we're all going to keep an eye on it and see what happens. We got to see what happens. So, but does anybody, everybody's just quiet. You guys are like going, oh no, what's going to happen? Are we going to have more stuff go on? Who knows? Don't forget, you guys, Class 1, August 23rd, Astrology, the series. That's Class 1, Beginning Astrology. That's via Zoom, 3 to 5. And Miss Donna over at Silver Wolf, Treasures and Gifts, live classes from 12 to 2. And then here's the new picture for Astrology, this series on August 24th. Via Zoom, 3 to 5. Transits, Black Moon Lilith, and Chiron, you guys. So that class will be August 23rd coming up. And that's the new picture. I love the new picture, you guys, by the way. So let's check out the chat and see what... I have to look that up too. Okay, let's check out the chat. Sarah, it wasn't a person. If it was, then there's a big possibility of robbery being a motive. Wasn't robbed, something without base human nature. Remember though, Sarah, his truck was parked with the windows down, phone, cash, I don't know. It's crazy. It's a very crazy story. Miss Linda, it's fascinating. It is very fascinating to watch. We got some shows coming up. Leave fascinating. Lord, well, those can be for the people in the world. What? Well, I could be Denise. We don't know with mundane. Now at the Republican convention, there is that whole Mars, algal, Uranus is squaring the moon of the USA chart. When you look at the USA natal chart, the moon represents the people. That's the people. So we'll see how the people and the collective are going to be feeling around that time. Those dates can be the best for people. We'll have to see. And I'll tell you another thing with that Mars Uranus. That can be breakthroughs with wonderful medical technology, space technology. It can be, if you want to look at there are some very positive things that can go on as well. As we looked at Harris's chart, she's got algal very, very prominent in her chart. It's very prominent. So it can go one of two ways. It's very prominent in her chart. She's not she's not going around decapitating people. So you just don't know how they play out. A lot of fixed stars have very karmic. They're very prominent and famous people, more so, where they have choices. And a lot of them, let's see, we've got Aldebaran, we've got Algo, we've got what's the one on Trump? Regulus. Now Regulus is on Trump's chart, and what Regulus is, if you take and go after your enemies, then this is true. This is what Regulus says. If you go after and get revenge, you will lose your wealth and your power and everything. You will never be able to go and get revenge on anyone. If you do, that's Regulus. you will lose everything. Everything that you have earned and gotten, you will lose everything. That's Regulus. So every star has very different, really um, very good. It's really neat. Fixed stars would be a good class too, you guys. That would be a great class because it's really neat. Harris is stepping up in position. It would not surprise me in the very least. It would not surprise me in the least. Her chart is very, very strong. It's very, very strong. Now, if you look at it to see in February of 2025 or 20 January 2025, she will not be president. No, she's got some, according, I don't think so, but what do I know? Um, it's interesting to watch this unfold with the mundane astrology. And I thought you guys would like that because it's like, gosh, who picked these dates for these conventions? Who picked these? Well, and that was truly, remember that. And that was funny because it was for tomorrow, but it was changed. Now that came in with the Uranus Mars, and then we've got the Algol situation, which is shock, that was a shocker, surprise. That because I had told Keith, I said he's going to jail with that Algol. So Keith was like, no, I don't think so. I think something else will happen. And sure enough, it did. So with Uranus involved, you don't know what's going to happen. That's what's kind of exciting about Uranus. You know what I mean? Uranus is kind of exciting. I kind of like it. Well, you guys, do you have anything else you want to add into the chat or on the case or anything else? Let me know. That's just a crazy case, and we're going to have to look up. I'm going to look up the cryptids. And thanks for tuning in tonight, you guys. Thank you for sharing, and thanks for showing up. And I will see you guys next week. I've got a really good case too that I'm working on it, and it's out in California. It's a California case. It's very, very sad, and it's a DV case. So it's a great case, and I'm working on mapping it now. So you are more than welcome, and happy birthday, Miss Linda. Have a great birthday on Sunday. I hope you have wonderful plans with the kids and you enjoy yourself tremendously. Thank you so much. And everybody else, and Linda says, have a great week. And you guys do the same. Everybody relax and enjoy the rest of our week. So anybody have anything else they want to say or add to the chat? Let me know. If not, you guys, thank you. Ever steak from prison? What? Will Trump ever order steak from prison? No, maybe, probably. No, I don't think so. That's funny. That's funny. I don't think, no, I don't either. I don't either. We'll have to look, you guys. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy year. I'll look. I really I don't think Trump's going to prison. I'll look. Thanks, great show. Thank you so much, Monica. We'll do a night where we'll look. Let's do this, guys. Let's get past these conventions and see if anything happens, and then let's pull up the chart on the election night. You want to do that? That would be fun. Those would be fun charts to look at, and we'll see. We'll see what the charts say. Here's Miss Kathy. It's going to be one heck of it, and if he is president, it's going to be ordering the country from behind the bars. Well, I can't say the SHIT, but it's been a SHIT show for some time now. I'm glad Americans have a good sense of humor, you guys, because we can laugh. But everybody have a great, we'll do that after the conventions. and see what happens. You too, honey. Have a great evening and a week, everybody. And definitely don't forget to tune in to the rest of the Rift Nation Network here live Sunday through Saturday on Rift Nation Network. Have a great week, you guys. Enjoy your week. And Linda, have a great happy birthday, my dear. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys next week for another case. Mysteries Beyond the Scenes. Good night, everybody.